I just turned 32. If you're in your 20s, give me 10 minutes and I'll give you the most genuine advice I wish I'd gotten. If you're wondering why bother listening to me, here's some context. The last decade of my life has been totally crazy. After graduating college, I broke into one of the most difficult, high-paying tech sales jobs, and by age 24, I was making close to $200,000 a year consistently. Then I got into real estate investing. I quit my corporate job by age 29. A friend and I built a 7-figure Airbnb portfolio and then co-founded together an online coaching offer that we scaled to $100,000 in monthly cash every single month. Now, while that all sounds glamorous, some things went incredibly wrong along the way. Yes, I took risks in entrepreneurship and real estate, but I also lost a ton of money. I alienated people that were incredibly important to me. And despite all the success, there were moments where I was the most unhappy I've ever been. So if you're ambitious and you're looking for the smartest way to make a lot of money, build long-term wealth, but more importantly, to be fulfilled and to be happy, to be prideful, and to avoid the many expensive mistakes that I've made the last 10 years, please, for the love of God, watch this video. Here are the 7 lessons to my 20-year-old self. Lesson 1 is to stop romanticizing entrepreneurship. It's 2026 and we're absolutely bombarded with content left and right from people that build online businesses, personal brands, content, and all they do is showcase the freedom, the wealth, traveling, sitting on their laptop in front of a beach. But I've seen the other side of this. I've built an online info course coaching offer. I'm in the midst of another one. I've joined masterminds that are tens of thousands of dollars to be a part of, and I've seen the other side. I've met these people. And the truth is, many of your favorite gurus are making the money from the courses, not from the vehicles that they teach. It's a money-hungry world, and it's not that ethical. Now, this is not the case for everybody. There are some real, genuine business owners out there that have built something incredible. Where I'm going with this is you're chasing entrepreneurship, but for the money, for the freedom, for the lifestyle. You're chasing it for what it can provide. But in reality, my last 3 years of entrepreneurship were filled with instability, inconsistent income, constant stress, literally 12-hour days, and responsibility for quite literally everything. It's a big sacrifice to make, and the thing is, you have to question if really what you want is to create something that's really impactful, that you really are passionate about, or are you just chasing the money, the income, and the freedom, and the lifestyle? Because there are other ways to do that, which I'll talk more about in some of the later lessons, that don't require to sacrifice literally every other component of your life. Yes, it looks cool, floor-to-ceiling windows, pictures of traveling, but I've completely sacrificed my ability to be present since I'm always thinking about some of the other areas of the business that need attention, and I've added a tremendous amount more of stress onto my life by doing this, because you are directly responsible for how much you make, for the results of your clients, for the success of your team that you've hired, and the people that are relying on you for their jobs. Now, I'm not at all saying you should not pursue entrepreneurship if it is your dream, but I strongly believe that there is a certain way that it should be done, which I'll talk about later in this video, on what I now see as the most intelligent way to begin as an entrepreneur. But just understand that what you think you're signing up for will cause a tremendous impact in the personal relationships that you have in your life, because whether you see it now or not, you will be incredibly less present to everybody you know. Lesson 2 is pursue the career that nobody talks about immediately. You see, I always wanted the benefits of entrepreneurship, the freedom, the autonomy, the income, the lifestyle, but I didn't want the stress. I didn't want the instability. I thought I wanted entrepreneurship, but what I really wanted was just the benefits of it. Now, the crazy thing is there is actually a career path that you can pursue that has the day-to-day autonomy, that has the ownership of running your own business, that has literally the same income potential as most entrepreneurs, but also with the stability of a full-time job, with the consistency of income, without all of the corporate BS, and it actually offers you an opportunity to still pursue entrepreneurship on top of it. It's B2B, business-to-business, tech field-based sales. If you've never been on this channel before, I talk a lot about medical device sales. Now, this is just one of them, but that was the industry that I began in and completely opened all of the doors in my life that I never thought were possible. Now, it doesn't have to be medical device sales, but here's why I'm really highlighting this and why I strongly believe that if you're in your 20s, you should pursue this career path at all costs. Just for context, field-based B2B tech sales means that you're selling either a tangible product or a software product to other businesses, and it's out in the field. You meet people face to face. And field-based sales gives you autonomy. It gives you complete control over your daily schedule, especially medical device sales. You wake up each day, you have the ownership of a specific area, a geographic area, and you get to decide how you spend your time. It offers literally uncapped income, and for guys or gals that are coming out of college, they're in their early 20s, it's by far the fastest path to making 6 figures, and in literally just 1 to 2 years, as you ascend up, you very quickly open the doors to several $100,000 per year. So you don't have the financial instability of entrepreneurship, but you have the lifestyle and the benefits. You don't have the constant business pressure from employees giving them a living, and it doesn't have that same risk. Now, why is this so important? This is important because it develops all of the skills of entrepreneurship in you, and it also allows you to start making a tremendous amount of income extremely early without needing all these college degrees, or to spend 10 years waiting to get up the corporate ladder, or to slave yourself away behind a desk. So when you do eventually pivot into entrepreneurship down the line, which we'll talk about, it tees you up really nicely because you have the skills and you'll have the freedom and autonomy to do it alongside your job, which I'll explain. So finally, just some examples on careers I would sprint towards are medical device sales, tech sales, B2B software field-based sales, or even real estate. Lesson 3, high income early changes everything. There is a substantial difference between making $200,000 a year in your mid-20s versus your mid-30s. The compounding effect of making that kind of income at such a young age allows you to put so much money into your future self, your future family, into investing or building that dream business that you want to build. And then it makes it 10 times less risky because you have the safety net. It dramatically accelerates your ability to build wealth and set yourself up for a proper retirement. The unfortunate truth is by the time most people enter their 40s, they might have $50,000 set aside. Maybe. I had $50,000 set aside by the time I was 24. And it was simply because I got into a high-paying position immediately. And again, field-based sales is one of the only career paths that you can get into now that allows you to very quickly get to that level of income. Now, it doesn't have to be field-based sales if you just so happen to be part of another high-paying career that you can get into immediately, whether it's consulting, whether it's finance, maybe it's a trade. It doesn't really matter. The point is, get the higher-paying income immediately because that eliminates any sort of financial pressure on you at a young age. It only gets worse as you get older. But the more important thing is giving yourself disposable income, more investable income. Because I was able to make $150,000, $200,000 plus by age 24, 25, 26, I had hundreds of thousands in investment accounts by the time I was 30. I had purchased 2 real estate investment properties by the time I was 30. And it made pivoting into entrepreneurship and doing these other things way less risky because I had the financial means to do it. Operating out of scarcity mode forces people to make poor decisions. So early income in life compounds way more than people imagine. Now, lesson 4 is before you build a business, build the skills. My younger brother is in the military, and I'm very thankful for his service, but he did an overseas deployment, came back to the United States, and had 0 skills after that. Business skills, professional skills, I mean. And he saw what I was doing and said, Vince, I want to start a business. And while I would never tell someone not to pursue their dreams, the reality is this: it will take him 3 to 5 times longer than it would take me or somebody that came from a career or position where they developed a lot of skills because he doesn't have those skills. He doesn't have the persuasion and communication skills. He doesn't have the sales skills, which are necessary for literally every single business. He doesn't have the same complex problem solving or the same level of resilience knowing that it pays off versus somebody that had done it in a corporate or professional setting. Sales is one of the best training grounds for entrepreneurship. As a matter of fact, from me working in medical device sales, I can't tell you how many reps I've worked alongside that have created substantial real estate portfolios where they leverage their extra time to actually build and launch their side hustle, which eventually became their full-time hustle, like a gym or a family business. I've got an interview with my friend Doug on this channel who works alongside reps that make $500,000 to $600,000 a year, and on top of that, they have businesses. And it's because sales offers not only the autonomy, but also the skill development to do both at the same time. There is no other career path, and I'm so fortunate that I stumbled into that career path because that set me up for the rest of my life, both from a financial perspective and a skill development perspective, but also because it offers the autonomous time, which is going to lead into lesson 5, which is if you want to start a business, do it the smart way. So if you do have those dreams of entrepreneurship, you have a limited window in your life to actually make that happen. Because by the time you're in your 30s, your ability to take risks dramatically diminishes. You might be with a serious partner by that point. You might have kids by that point or are considering them, which basically puts entrepreneurship almost out of the question, if not incredibly risky, and you're putting a lot of pressure on your partner. So yes, I agree with guys like Alex Hormozi that say you have nothing to lose in your 20s, you might as well take as many shots as you can take. And again, I am not discouraging that you pursue your passions of entrepreneurship just because I had a poor experience, but just really question what it is that you want with entrepreneurship. Is it just the benefits of entrepreneurship, or is it that you truly have a burning passion and desire for a specific thing that you want to create? Because if you're just chasing the money and the lifestyle, fine. But you are genuinely going to sacrifice your sanity. There's no such thing as a passive business. There's no such thing as a passive anything. You feel guilty when you take off of work. You feel guilty when you're not working on your business. You feel guilty when you are working on your business because you neglect everyone else. And I'm telling you right now, if you want your business to be successful, you are signing up for 10-hour days plus. I was in front of that computer until about 11 p.m. last night, and that basically repeats every day. And I need you to ask yourself, is that what you want? Now, if you enjoy the thrill of building something, and it doesn't feel like work and it feels like play, by all means, please chase it, but do it in the way that I'm about to tell you. So instead of quitting your job and just starting a business from scratch, the reality is it's going to take a while for you to make enough income for you to live off that business. Even if you generate revenue right away, you're going to need to reinvest that into the business, and you can't just pocket it. That causes a lot of financial pressure out of the gate. So the best possible approach on the planet is not only to do it alongside your job, but to do it alongside your sales job, because you have stable income, you have the autonomy, you have the available free time to do it. Most field-based sales reps have enough time to build some sort of venture on the side. Now, I am not advocating that you just join careers for the sake of doing things on the side, but I can tell you that by far, the most amount of people that are doing that method successfully are not in accounting, they're not in consulting, they're not in law, they're not in healthcare, they're in sales. And it's because sales offers that autonomy plus the level of income that allows you to take those risks. So get into a sales career, generate that stable income, and then launch your business on the side. That also gives you the opportunity to make sure that that is really what you want to do. The second you get hit with the workload of the business as it starts to grow, you're going to understand if that's really where you want to spend your time and what you just signed up for. But it gives you the runway, it gives you the financial security, and it gives you that time to experiment. And if you are single and you don't have a family and you don't have kids, that allows you to maximize your time because you'll be making multiple six figures from your job, plus you've got your business that you're launching. And the two of these combined gives you an income that most people could not even imagine. You might realize, hey, I don't want to scale this business. I got it to an extra few $1,000s per month. That's all I need. That's all I really wanted. So build your business while someone else is paying your salary. And no, I'm not advocating that you totally neglect your sales job because then you won't have that good income that we're talking about. But hey, when you start getting income, that takes us to lesson 6, which is invest early. It changes your entire life. I didn't grasp this during my 20s because I just thought I was doing the safe, diligent thing by taking money that I made from work, setting it aside, and putting it into things. But once I finally hit 30 and I looked around and I recognized that none of my other friends had anything set aside, it very quickly made me confident and happy at where I put myself and how I set myself up. Because I had multiple real estate properties. I had lots of money in the bank from compounding investments. And I've always made it a consistent discipline for myself to literally automatically transfer money from my account into my investment accounts every single month. Now that I've crossed 30, I can tell you that most people's goals are eventually to just never have to worry about money or work again. And then that gives you even more autonomy down the line if you do want to start another dream business or project like a family restaurant or anything like that, right? But you can't do that unless you have a large amount of wealth and a substantial nest egg set up for yourself. And it's also not just about you, it's about your future family. It's a damn near obligation to invest. It's a damn near obligation to build wealth. So it should be a consistent monthly and daily discipline because the truth is most people don't have 10 or 20 grand to their names. How do you expect to retire off of that? How do you expect your family to be well off because of that? How do you expect to live the lifestyle that you want off of that? So what I've learned is that the best focus is to build equity and cash flow. Equity meaning capital. This could be either the equity that you've earned in real estate or other assets, maybe you buy businesses, and then cash flow are the profits that you make reoccurring. Because when you get both, that opens up a lot more doors than just putting it into investment accounts and nothing else. Now, you don't need to invest in real estate. However, I've seen how quickly the effects of real estate can catapult your wealth. Perfect example, that first property that I bought when I was 25 years old, it appreciated by $300,000 in just 5 years. So when I sold it at 31, I essentially had a couple $100,000 that I just pocketed. Now, I reinvested it into a different property, but point being is in my experience, having a diversification of these is pretty key. Real estate offers tremendous long-term equity and cash flow, and even if you stop there down the line, you can have the property paid off and just collect the rewards from that. But also, investing into a stock portfolio or index fund portfolio is equally as important. I'm sure you've seen the back of napkin math before, but setting aside just a few $100s a month into index funds or mutual funds that offer the standard S&P 500 return compounds to 7 figures by the time you retire. This is not financial advice, but the point is, most people are neglecting this and they know that they should be doing it. You should prioritize it, and a couple of great books on this are The Richest Man in Babylon, which explains that you should basically just imagine that 10% of your income doesn't even exist and that it should just go all into investments. Another great book is The Boglehead's Guide to Investing, and some great real estate books are The Book on Rental Property Investing by Brandon Turner and Long Distance Real Estate Investing by David Green. Now, on a final note, I've experimented a lot with real estate investing over the last couple of years, so here's what I've learned. I've done Airbnb, I've purchased Airbnbs, I've done Airbnb arbitrage, garage. I've purchased single family investment properties. I've had great and horrible experiences with just about all of them. And after risking and losing a lot of money in several of these real estate worlds, what I'm focusing on now will now be multifamily real estate, which is getting into large apartment complex purchases. That offers way more equity, way more cash flow than buying single family homes. Now, I encourage that you do your research and figure out which is the best for you, but that is going to be my next play after experimenting with all of these. But depending on what your goals are, buying a few single family homes might be all you need. If you can make enough income to buy one property a year, in 10 years, you'll have a ridiculous amount of equity and you won't have enough cash flow to quit your job, but you'll be worth a lot on paper. Now, here's the final lesson and probably the most important out of everything else in this video. Lesson 7 is make sure it's your dream. The moments that I was the most unhappy in my life, I recognized that what I was chasing was not my dream. It was not my pursuit. I was influenced by family, by friends, my significant other, and I was making decisions that would make them happy and make me feel less judged by those people around me. And this sounds so obvious, but you really have to start asking yourself a question. One of my business mentors gave me this question, and I think about it all the time, which is, whose dream are you chasing? Right now, whose dream are you chasing? And your knee-jerk reaction might be, this is my choice, but was it really? Did you pursue a path just to not disappoint your parents? Did you pursue a path just so you'd look better in front of your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend? Did you pursue a path just so you can look cool in front of your friends? Chances are your career path or whatever you're pursuing is heavily influenced by other people. And that is when you are the most unhappy because you now feel obligated to do it. It's a chore, it's a burden to do it. It's not out of your own desire. So I just happen to record this video at this point in my life. These lessons will probably change next year and the year after that. But in summary, build a high income skill. Earn strong income as early as possible. Invest aggressively. Start a business only and truly if you really want one and not just the benefits of what it provides. You don't have to start a business to become wealthy. You don't have to sign up for this life. Now, this channel is dedicated to high income careers like medical device sales because, again, that's the career that completely changed my life. You can go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you want to learn more about what that industry looks like as well as what it's like to break in. I'm sure there's plenty more advice that I could come up with in this video about mindset, about personal relationships, but we'll save that one for another time. Go do big things. I'll see you guys. Thanks for watching.